Hey guys, Luton here, and you know what we haven't had for a while? We haven't had a full round breakdown, and I thought, hey, this is a good time to do it. I've got some good gameplay for it, so let's go ahead. Now, we've actually got both sides of this. Not on this one video, I'm going to do another video. For those of you that don't know, the full round breakdowns, it's basically where I look at a whole round of gameplay. Now, a lot of producers don't often show full rounds because there's often some humiliating fails or whatever, or maybe it's not a success as they would like, and I think it's very important to show the whole gameplay and all of your, your screw-ups, your losses, and your successes, because you learn a lot more from seeing the whole picture than just specific snapshots of epic win or whatever, and this was a good example of sort of that kind of overarching gameplay. Me and the squad were working on Rush. We decided we would try some Rush because, it goes so bad, and I decided we would just try and see how it would work, how it would play out for us. Now, what we've got here, we're attacking right now, but we also have the defending side of things, which will come up on another video. And the interesting thing is, as I say, one of the gameplays is a success, one is not. But it's good to be able to go back and look through at what went wrong, what went right, what you did wrong, what you did right, and that's really what these are about, is sort of looking and assessing, because when you look back at what it is that you did in the game, you can kind of look back and you guys, when you're watching my gameplay, often critique and say, oh, LT, why didn't you see this guy, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that? It's true, and the point is when you're actually in a game, you often don't see those things. Maybe they're out of your peripheral vision, maybe you were distracted, maybe somebody was talking to you on the comms. When you have the hindsight, when you have the ability to look back at your gameplay, you often see things that you absolutely did not see in the game. It's happened to me loads of times. It's one of the reasons why recording your gameplay is such a good thing to do as well, because when you look back, you often can sort of take a different approach to your own style of play. You sort of see things that you didn't see and then remember those to put in for the next time that you play. Now, this is quite a long gameplay, it's like 20 minutes or so, but it's because we have the rush bases, and each rush base is a kind of mission in itself. You have to take that down, hit it, and move on to the next. Now, if you've never played Rush before, which seems unlikely, but if you've never played Rush before, it's quite a game of momentum. You have to sort of hit those bases, take them out, and keep on moving. It's also about sort of judging the defending team. Where are they positioned? What are they using? Are they going mainly anti-tank? Maybe you should change up, go infantry, try and drop some smoke, cross the line. Are they mainly infantry, sniping, take the vehicles, push through, destroy them? The vehicles, though, are very important in Rush always, because if you don't have the vehicles, you often don't have the control. And you can see right now I'm getting absolutely locked and spammed here. They're really trying very hard to take us out. That's why I've been playing this kind of cat and mouse evasion. I didn't want to lose my tank straight away, and I've just been trying to sort of hold it back to provide some support fire. But you can see that they're really laying it down hard on us. And again, this is one thing that I was very, very aware of going into it. These guys, we'd already played a couple of games, and they're going really, really hard on the SROs and things like this. There were some of those players that were really, trying to get infantry kills constantly with the SROs. They were kind of fucking around a bit, and that was quite irritating for us. So we knew that they were going to be quite anti-tank focused, and that's why it's really important to kind of try and hold the line. If you can just keep a vehicle as well, sort of in and around, it can actually be a big distraction. That's often a good role for the vehicles to play, is actually the kind of distracting role. Tanks can be a huge target for infantry, and if you can just keep it up and keep it alive, often they'll get very, very distracted trying to take those vehicles down. And I've commented about this before now. That's actually a good thing to do with the vehicles, is actually try and create them as a kind of high value target. The enemy gets so distracted by that, they forget about or don't see the infantry. And of course, on the other side of things, this is something that's very annoying for you as a player. Often when I'm playing with other people, the guys on the ground get so distracted, they run off to the side, and they leave huge open sections of the map wide open. But these guys are actually doing a pretty good job of holding the line, defending. But one thing that they're not doing right now, you can see on the minimap, a lot of them are kind of sitting back. And in Rush, that never works too well. With Rush, you really want to be kind of on the MCOM or just in front of it, because otherwise what happens is that you sort of, the attacking team will move up onto the MCOM, and then one way or another they will gradually lock it down and pick it off. It might not happen immediately, but it will happen. And that's because we have control of that area. You won't succeed by sitting back and trying to kill people arming the MCOM. That never works. It might work to rack you like 4 or 5 kills, but in the long run, overall, it won't succeed in actually defending that base. You need to have people in front and behind. Look at this guy. He's just driving straight through me. I hate tank drivers like that. They're just literally like, dur, 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 and they're on their own mission, and they just sort of drive straight through you. It's so irritating. I was kind of sitting duck right there, and I was taking some hits, so we've just kind of moved away. We knew that we were going to get that base, so I wanted to take the defensive line before we move forward. Again, look at this. For fuck's sake, dude. God's sake. So irritating. I'm just going to drive straight into the back of you. It's like, ugh. Okay, we have taken this base, so now we're going to move forward, and again, we're probably going to go on the flank left side because that's kind of nice open tank ground. We're also going to want to keep constantly pummeling and taking out that vehicle right there. One thing that's important with Rush as well, when you have taken that base, you want to try and move forward as quickly as possible. I don't have any repper right here. The guys are running up to rep me, so that's great. But that's why I backed off a little bit there. I didn't want to get wiped out straight away. But as for infantry and everybody else, we should be trying to move up fairly quickly. This is kind of a difficult base actually to move on from because often players are still on that line and you're trying to kind of climb the hill. This is quite a difficult map in some ways because you're constantly trying to climb the hill. One thing that is good about this Rush map though is that it's fairly sort of open to flanking and you often have enough cover that you can move point to point, except for the base after this one where there is this huge sort of open field and it's just a kind of kill zone. What you can see what I'm doing right here, I wanted to flank around, basically get on the back of these guys because they have multiple sort of infantry groups right here and I wanted to sort of distract, see how they're kind of locking down these corners, and we really wanted to sort of get in here and sort of weaken them up, sort of just dig them out. We wanted to kind of scare them out of here so that our infantry guys can move up. However, I would like to highlight, if you look at the map right now, it's as usual only our squad that are actually moved up. The rest of the team are kind of still sitting back at the base, not really moving forward on the line, and they seem to be unaware of the fact that there is a ticket count in this game mode and that if they don't move forward pretty soon, we're going to lose the game. Now Fuse here is trying to wreck off the infantry, and unfortunately we've got the tank coming in on us as well. We've sort of this is the real opportunity where our team should be moving forward right now. We've broken that front line and they should be trying to move up on here. Fuse has hopped out to repair, so let's see if we take this tank out. He's backed off cleverly. Fuse is going to jump in. Yep, he's coming back on us right here. Still getting locked. Okay, took him down. That's obviously the benefit of having a repairer for you. Although it looks like this one guy's coming into C4 at S4 me, I don't know. I've got a few things going over here. I've gone into full AA tank coward reverse right here, trying to get out of the way. But Rush as well is very much about seizing the opportunity. You need to sort of look at what's happening. Look at these guys just sitting right out in the middle here. That's that sniper that I let go. I really should have pursued that guy, as you'll see later. But anyway, yeah, it's basically very, very important to seize the opportunity. And again, when we moved around with the tank there and we took them off that front line, there was a couple of our guys moving in, but that was really the moment when we should have sort of broken into the base. But happily, as you can see right now, our team have decided to take the initiative and move up forward, so now we're actually getting in onto this base. And we have, for the most part, sort of actually dug the enemy out of here. B's getting armed, and we're just trying to control this area right here. Still infantry coming in almost point blank on us. I've got to be a bit careful because I don't want to get C4'd or anything right now. And whilst it's useful to actually have, you know, secondary shells, the staff shell on the tank for, you know, against other armor, this map I actually feel like it might be beneficial to have the heavy machine gun on the tank for the primary driver, because there's a lot of infantry engagement. In fact, overall on Rush that might be beneficial, because you often are facing a lot more infantry than you are vehicles. But again, that depends. As soon as you come up against a vehicle, then you get outclassed. So it's that kind of flip coin side thing, really, you know, which you're going to do. Managed to bail out and pick off at least one guy right there. Don't think I'm going to be able to take out any more than that, though. Nope, there we go. But we have successfully, you know, neutralized some of that base, so that's good. So we're moving in the right direction here, pushing forward. Yep, it's only the BM comm left, and I'm pretty sure we should be able to get down on that. So this is going to be a real infantry assault right now. Lost the tank, so we've got to just kind of keep throwing grenades, get in there. There's going to be a lot of people shooting at us right here, and it's going to be a very, very, very difficult. You've got to try and make that push, though. That's often the thing with Rush. You've got to try and take the initiative. Often, if you just get hold of it and get up there, you'll be surprised at how often they don't expect it. If you sit back, what will happen is they'll pick you off one by one, and this happens all the time. You see it in game. If you sit back and go up in ones and twos, the defenders are often in a position to handle that, okay? Like, you know, exactly like what's happening right here. Because they are in the defensive position, they have the high ground. So if you move up in 1s and 2s, they'll just mark you, spot you, and pick you off. 1, 1, 1. It's like when you watch a film, right? When you watch some stupid film, and there's, you know, the martial arts expert, but all the bad guys, the 20 bad guys are all around him. They come in 1s and 2s, and he just handles them one at a time. Oh, I'll take you down. Oh, you're next, I'll take you down. Oh, and then you, I'll take you down. And that's how it goes, and that's how it is with this. If you take them on one at a time, they'll handle you one at a time. But if you go in together as a group, if you all, you know, if you see other people moving forward, that's the time to move forward as well. You know, if you see a squad next to you moving up, now you should move up, and your squad should move up as well. You know, because then, even though some of you may get taken out, overall, you'll be moving forward, and they won't have enough people to kind of target you simultaneously, and that's when you should be able to take the base. And that's what's happening right now, as you can see. Everybody's moving forward, we're making the push, we managed to take out the base, and that's how you get it done. It's all about teamwork, it's all about moving together as a group. You know, something that actually be really good for Commander in Rush, not that there ever is Commanders in Rush, but it's a shame that you can't. It's a shame that as maybe squad leaders can't issue like an overall command. You know, like periodically, if they see, maybe there should be a cooldown or something. Yeah, this would work actually. Maybe if you're a squad leader and there's like a cooldown, you can issue like a team initiative or something, so that you can say to your guys, this is the time to move forward. Because maybe you as a squad can see more. I mean, look at this right now. They're already sort of getting into behind these rocks right here. They're trying to sort of lock us down. But I say, if you as a squad leader, maybe you've moved forward, you can see how many, you know that they're kind of weak. Now obviously you can type in team chat and you can say, hey, like, you know, let's move forward. But if you could have something that would come up on screen saying, you know, move forward, now's the time, that would actually maybe, incite some guys to kind of get forward. It'd give them that sort of inspiration to sort of move forward and actually get on with the objective. Again, I was trying to flank across here, but I got picked off running across this street. Again, hindsight, maybe I should have just kept on running instead of turning to the left there, but that's how it goes. I think that would be a benefit, but on the other hand, you don't want sort of people spamming these things all the time, but it's just about kind of getting people the will to sort of move forward. We're trying to clear this, control this, and you can see how the momentum aspect is really coming in now on this base. You know, we've taken more control than we did with that last base, and it's because we've moved forward more quickly. Look at this. We've got multiple people getting in on this base right here. I've turned around because this MBT is coming up, and I want to do this. I want to get some fire down on it. Again, often, even if you start firing a little bit at a tank, oh, got picked off, and here we are. Look, that's that guy that I left behind. Remember I said before about that was going to be a relevant thing? That guy that I left behind who went to that rock, I really should have chased him down with the tank because it's come back on me. I was quite irritated. On the other hand, that guy is, you know, he might have killed me right there, but he's really not helping his team overall because he doesn't have line of sight on that MCOM. He's not going to be able to do anything beneficial to really help out the group. The defenders seem to have taken up to a sniping role, which can be really beneficial to have one or two, but they seem to have multiple snipers, and multiple snipers tends to be the critical factor in losing games, especially on Rush. If you have too many snipers, it's basically they can take out enemies, but they can't take out enough to actually control the situation. So out of a group of 5, they might take out 2, but then, you know, big picture, they're not going to be able to slow down the enemy enough to kind of control the situation. So for every 2 they take out, another 3 will make ground, and then those 2 that they had will respawn in, and you know, you just never get anywhere. So you need to have a mix of snipers. Snipers can be really good for kind of demoralizing and slowing down your enemy, but overall they're not good for controlling, you know, infantry. And you really need to have some more LMGs, you need to have some assault guys in there, and then you need to have the engineers backing up to take out whatever vehicle it is that's locking everyone down. This is the open ground problem that we have. Tanks just sitting there in the open, and again, that's why you really need to neutralize this armor as quickly as possible, because if you don't, it will just hemorrhage you tickets early on. You know, you've got to get these things down fast, not allow them to, you know, sort of entrench themselves and pin everybody down. That's a really bad thing. The guys here were just saying, should we go and get that sniper? And I said, no, leave him. Because if he's still there, that's just a player we don't have to worry about up front, you know. This is my often rule with sniping is, you know, if there's a sniper, how much of an issue is he causing? Is he causing you a really big problem? If so, maybe he needs dealing with. But if he's just picking off 1 or 2 people, just leave him be, you know, seriously. Oh god, we got screwed on that corner right there. Not good on that corner. This round was pretty hard for us, but I think the defending round ends up being much better, but it's also a very knife-edge one. The defending round is actually... The next round, you know, the defending round, it's good, but it's not good. You'll see why. But it's one of those knife-edge rounds, which is always really, really a good thing. It's also really good to actually be able to, when you have like a strong defending or attacking team, and you get rolled over by them a few times in a row or something like that, it's really good to be able to sort of take control of that situation and turn it around. I should drop that guy right there. So right now we're coming up onto the last MCOMs, or the near to the last MCOMs. This is second base to last, I believe. So we're just trying to sort of take control of this base, move in. But again, look at the momentum, the speed that we've moved up with. And then, of course, once you get to these bases compared to the previous ones, look at this guy right over here. Now again, he got a kill on me right there, but overall, how much of a benefit is that guy being to his team? Probably not as much as he thinks that he is. Because he doesn't have direct line of sight onto where we're firing at. And again, you just get people like me do this. As soon as you find your position as a sniper, if you're going to be hard sniping, you'll just get locked down and pinned down. If it wasn't for that, then maybe I'd have, you know, return sniped him, counter sniped him, or maybe I'd have put a mortar on him. You know, it's not a viable system in such a fluid gameplay. Conquest hard sniping is often better because you can kind of set up around a Conquest base perhaps, and maybe you control it, but only if it's being that kind of fluid gameplay. But on Rush it's much more difficult because you have such a limited scope of where you're going to be engaging from. Okay, so they got diffused again. So this has been diffused about 2 or 3 times right now. They're really trying very, very hard, and that's why I was taking a kind of... I didn't want to move in straight away. Right now I'm just waiting. I was waiting for the guys to spawn in, but again they flanked. So you can see they're turning their defense really, really hard now. And it's because it starts coming towards the end of the round, end of the game. They don't want to lose it. Up until this point they've been like, yeah, we can hold them back, we can hold them back. But it's still down on this one NCOM. And they got it armed. I was saying to the guys, throw grenades, throw grenades, throw grenades. Which is exactly what you need. When you're in this situation where you've got it armed, just put grenades in on it. Put grenades in on it, because you just want to do anything to keep that under control. And obviously I didn't need to keep my eyes on it all of the time right there, because we've got other people in. I don't need to kind of... This is another mistake that often happens, and it's something you need to be really disciplined about, is knowing when to actually get onto an MCOM, when to actually make that push forward. And again, you can see here using the small good effect, clearing these guys out of the buildings. Again, it's another reason why you shouldn't sit on top of other people. I say this all the time. If you have 2 or 3 guys sitting together, don't sit on top of those guys. Using Doritos to good effect right there. I mean, Christ's sake, it just highlights what I said in my video about why Doritos need to go. We all do it, but it's like, you have a little shooting point. There's no way I should have been able to see that guy. He was through like a cloud of smoke, but Dorito him up and it's good to go. Okay, so we've taken that base very hard. Now again, win or lose, we're doing a good job. You know, these guys are not the easiest. I shouldn't have pushed forward there because there's no way I was going to make it anyway. I think this guy joined off of the stream that we were playing, maybe. Anyway, so we're pushing up now onto the final base. And this is by far and away one of the most difficult for a few reasons. But yeah, knowing when to get on an MCOM is very, very difficult, especially when you're right at the end or the lowest amount of your tickets, when it's like 20, 30. But basically, if you see like 1 or 2 people on the MCOM already, you don't need to get on it. You need to secure it. You need to, you know, give them cover fire, throw grenades out towards where the enemy are, lay down cover fire, throw missiles into the buildings. Do everything you can to distract the enemy and prevent them from sort of getting down onto you. Because if you just rush for the MCOM as well, and we see this all the time, you see multiple people all rushing for the MCOM, and they're trying to get on it, but then they just get picked off by one guy because they all went for the MCOM at the same time and nobody actually bothered to try and defend it. Now, looking back on it, this was actually the key time. And in fact, actually, this I think is quite a failure by me. We actually have quite a strong advantage in how fast we pushed up here. And I don't think I anticipated how strong my position was there and how useful that was going to be to the team. The squad and the team have actually taken out the first MCOM really, really quickly. And on the last base of Rush, it's always really critical that you almost not taken together, but that you're in a position to sort of simultaneously arm and defend the MCOMs. Because otherwise you end up in this situation where the enemy team only have one MCOM to worry about. Now right now things are looking pretty strong, but from both of our gameplays, actually, it comes down to sort of the last, the last one MCOM. And it kind of highlights why it's very, very important to sort of, if you see one MCOM get armed, you need to push that other one really hard straight away, because you need to try and at least get it armed. Now you can see we feel like we're in a pretty strong situation here, and actually again, watching it back, and this is why it's really interesting to watch gameplay back, watching this back, I can't believe we lost this. We got 40 tickets, we got a lot of people around the MCOM, and again, I don't know whether it's just I was moving around here to try and sort of watch this building here, make sure there was nobody up on top or whatever, but there's still guys in here, they got it diffused. And again, I don't know how it's being diffused, but the main problem with this last base is the distance that you have to travel to get there. We have to travel quite some distance to get back onto the MCOM, and that is always an issue with Rush. It's the fact that you have so far to travel to get back to it, and that means it really hurts your tickets. We already had lost kind of, I don't know, a third to half our tickets by the time we got onto this. I mean, look, we're still travelling, This gives the defenders plenty of time to respawn, get in. This is one of my most hated little things right here, look. You can't get up that little ramp. It really, really bothers me that I don't know why they made it so you couldn't get up there, but it really interferes with the gameplay on this last base. It really bothers me. But anyway, the time that it took us to get back here is the time that they have been able to reinforce and, get into a strong defensive position for this MCOM. And right now, we put out, I was going to try and get in here, because we've really got to try and make the push for this. I want to try and get on this MCOM, but you can just see, look, they're screwing us down. They've only got sort of 2 or 3 guys on here, but they're really pinning it down. We managed to get it armed there. Teammate armed it, which is a good job. Again, really positive that we see the team now. Actually, you see how much the difference. And actually, I noticed this always in Rush, actually, that from the very beginning of the round, often they're a bit slow to start. They're like, how well are we going to do this? Don't really want to risk our lives. But suddenly, when they realise they've gotten to the last MCOM base, the second to last MCOM base, they're getting that momentum happening. Suddenly, you're able to kind of, the team wake up and they actually start getting on with the base, Unfortunately, you can end up in this situation like we are right now, where suddenly we've just found ourselves in the back foot. And that position that I was in earlier, where I was on top of that building, I should have just not gone up there. And hindsight, you look at it and you go, yeah, you really shouldn't have done. But it's important to take that information away, and I guess that's what I would take away from this round, because even right now, even at this stage, so many battlefields in, so many games of Rush that I've played, and you still learn and you kind of reinforce things that you've already known before. It kind of reminds you, it helps you learn to sort of play forward. And overall, I say that was a really good round, because it was what I say, it was a good loss, alright? Because even though we didn't win, there's a lot of things you can take away from there, there's a lot we can see that was positive, and overall, that is the most important thing. So thanks for watching today, guys, hope you enjoyed. Drop a rating on the video, as always, any thoughts and comments below, and I'll be having the second part of this video coming up very soon. Thanks for watching, guys, see you next time.